When I arrived in the United States Senate, I wanted to do whatever I could to make real progress towards energy independence. I reached across the aisle to pass a law that will give more Americans the chance to fill up their cars with clean biofuels. I passed a law that will fuel the research needed to develop a car that can get 500 miles per gallon. I even voted for an energy bill that was far from perfect because I was able to ensure that it contained some real investment in renewable sources of energy. And I fought to eliminate the tax giveaways to oil companies that were slipped into that bill. Oil companies that have spent $500 million lobbying Congress in the last 10 years while their profits have risen to record levels. And I did something else. I knew that America hadn't raised fuel efficiency standards in our cars for over 20 years. Even though Japanese car companies that make more fuel-efficient cars are running circles around our own car companies. Even though we send hundreds of millions of dollars a day to some of the world's most dangerous regimes because of our reliance on oil. So I decided to try something new. I reached across the aisle to come up with a plan to raise our fuel standards that won support from lawmakers who had never supported raising fuel emission standards before. I didn't just give a speech about it in front of some environmental group in California. I went to Detroit, and I gave it in front of the automakers. And I have to admit, the room was really quiet. But I had to tell them that there will be no more excuses when I'm president. We will help them retool their factories, but they will have to make cars that use less oil. And I said what I did because I believe America has had enough of politicians just pandering and telling folks what they want to hear. We have to tell the people the truth. And the truth is that you can't afford to let the same old politics stand in the way of our future anymore. We can't afford the same kind of caution when the future of our security is at stake. We know that the money that America spends on foreign oil is funding both sides of the war on terrorism. And that it pays for everything from the madrasas that plant the seeds of terror in young minds to the Sunni insurgents that attack our troops in Iraq. We can't be afraid to stand up to the oil and auto industry when the future of our economy is at stake. The question is not if a renewable energy economy will thrive in the future, it's where. And if we want that place to be the United States of America, we can't afford to wait any longer. Most of all, we can't afford more of the same timid politics when it comes to the future of our planet. Here in New Hampshire, the ski industry is facing shorter seasons and losing jobs. We're already breaking records with the intensity of our storms, the number of forest fires, the periods of drought. The polar ice caps are now melting faster than science had ever predicted. And if we do nothing, sea levels will rise high enough to swallow large portions of every coastal city and town. I reject that future. It's not the future we want for our children. I know the American people have been promised energy independence before, but I would not be running for president if I did not believe this time could be different. Not because I have some perfect solution that every other expert and every other candidate has somehow missed, but because I believe the American people are ready for a president who can unite us around a common purpose again. I believe that we're ready to lead again. From the moment I take office as president, I will call together scientists and entrepreneurs, heads of industry and heads of labor, Democrats, Republicans, and Americans from all walks of life to help develop and deploy the next generation of energy that will allow us to build the next generation's economy, create millions of new jobs and entire industries right here in the United States.